Welcome back, Queen, to another episode of The Creatress of Freedom. Can you feel it? Can you feel the energy shifting, right? It's intense. It's a lot right now. Oh, hello. I am Annie. What an introduction. I am Annie and I am your host of the Creatress of Freedom podcast, formerly known as the According to Annie podcast. Let's delve straight into it, shall we? We are approaching the end of the year and man, it feels a lot. It feels a lot. And, the more women that I'm having this conversation with, the more I'm realizing that it's collective. It is collective. It is not just me. I am not special at all. Oh, I have recently returned home from my 6-week trip from Australia, which that is coming. The breakthroughs and the lessons and the trials and tribulations that 6-week trip brought. My gosh, that was a lot. So that's coming. So stay tuned for that episode. But today, what I want to talk about is really kind of like starting to wrap up the new year, right? Like wrap up the old year before we shift into the new year. And I know for myself that I am definitely feeling this energy of really kind of wanting to be a little bit in isolation, wanting to be in solitude, wanting to, I guess, just be, right? Just be. And I often feel like at this time of year, I reflect a lot on like, how do I want the next year to be? How do I want to show up? What is important to me? What are my values? What am I, what is important? And really reevaluating, for the new year, my word is refinement. And I really want to refine every area of my life. I've created a business that's created freedom, but like I want to refine what that freedom looks like, because right now I feel like there's some restrictions within my business. And so being able to refine that so that those restrictions can be let go of is where I'm at right now. And so I wanted to talk a little bit around really making sure that you create some time and space for yourself between now and the end of the year to really reflect on the year that has been. Because we can't start anew unless we have honored what has been, right? So it's really important to take some time to reflect, to see what the challenges were, to see what the lessons were that you were going to take out of 2024, to see what you set for yourself around standards, around expectations, around your priorities, and what are you taking with you into the new year, right? There'll be another episode that we'll do around New Year stuff, but for right now, like I really want you to take some time to really reflect on like, how has the year been? What lessons have you learned? What challenges did you go through that you needed to go through, right? Because I truly believe that everything happens for us, not to us. Yeah. The quicker that you can accept that, the easier life will become. So what challenges have you gone through that you've needed to go through in order to up level in different areas of your life? Because without those challenges and without those obstacles, you wouldn't have the new awareness that you have around certain areas, right? So I really invite you to create some space, grab your journal out and really reflect on, how was the year? What are the wins? What are the challenges that you were facing? What lessons did you learn? What did you have to let go of this year as well? Maybe there were some friendships that were no longer in alignment. I know I had to do that quite a bit this year. Maybe there was some new levels of trust that you had to build around your finances. Maybe money was a bit of a tricky conversation, a bit of a tricky topic for you to navigate all year, but yet all of a sudden, money just kept flowing up and it kept supporting you and you didn't know where it was coming from, but yet all of a sudden you were supported financially. So like really take some time to really reflect on what has been, so that you are able to then shift into the new year with your new vision, with your new lens of how you want life to be moving forward. So, with all of these little tips and ideas, I really, really invite you to do that. Another question that I really want you to ask as well is, what do I want? Like, what do I want? Because moving forward, that's a really great question of like, what do you want when it comes to friendships? What do you want in your business? What do you want when it comes to financial? What do you want when it comes to the type of communication that you want to have with your partner? What do you want when it comes to friendships that you have and the types of conversations that you have? What do you want when it comes to your health? What do you want when it comes to your morning and nighttime routines? Like, what do you want, right? So, really focusing first on the first part of the year, on reflecting on how it's been and what lessons you learned before you shift into like the next area of like what you want. And I really invite you to really sit in the deep gratitude of the version that you've become today, right? Because this version that you've become, you once dreamed of the life that you live. Now, it might not be where you want it to be. Okay, I'm fairly confident that you're like, yeah, it's not Annie, right? Because that's just the type of women that I bring into my world. So I know that you also want more, but we have to learn to hold the gratitude for what we've already got, or the universe won't bring you more. Like, that's literally law of attraction, right? So you have to learn how you can hold the gratitude for everything that has happened, for everything that you have got in your life, and also remembering that a past version of you had dreamed of that, right? A past version of you had dreamed of starting a business. A past version of you had dreamed of having dream clients. A past version of you dreamed of having a team, and now maybe you have more than one. A past version of you dreamed of being paid for your skills that you put out to the world. A past version of you dreamed of being out on your own and having your own home. A past version of you dreamed of beautiful soul friendships, right? I really want you to reflect on everything that you have had come to you in 2024. There's no doubt that it was a fucking challenging year, right? It was really challenging. I think it was challenging for so many people in so many ways. And I hate to break it to you, but 2025 is not going to be much better, especially the first part of the year. I know that we're all feeling the energy of ready for 2024 to be over and step into the energy that a new year brings. But cosmically, it's not going to happen, right? We had our astrology guest expert come inside Evolve last week, and she gave us the blueprint of what to expect over the next 12 months. And fuck, I hate to break it to you, and I hate to be the one to break it to you, but 2025 is also going to be a fairly challenging year for most of us as well, just with what's happening with the planets and astrology and all of that stuff, especially the first part of the year. So strap in, grab your snacks, make sure your harness is strapped on, because it is apparently going to be a really, really wild ride. One thing that actually was coming up as she was sharing with us, as Alexis was sharing with us, what December is. So she said, December, you might feel a lot of fog, right? Like it's almost like your brain just doesn't feel like it's on. It doesn't feel like it's functioning. And I know that's definitely happening for me. I'm like, I'm doing random shit that I would not normally do. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, for example, when I went to Australia, I locked my keys inside the storage unit. And I'm like, that's shit that I wouldn't normally do, right? Like, what the fuck? So anyway, the fog is very, very thick right now. But from an astrology point of view, it's actually meant to be, because 2025, a big theme that was coming up for 2025 was really learning to trust, right? Trust was the big theme. And so the reason that the fog is here, it's Neptune is what is creating the planet Neptune, which is creating the fog, is because it's asking us to trust now. So it's asking us to prepare for 2025. So this month, if you are feeling like there's fog and you're like, my brain just doesn't seem to be working right now, that's actually meant to be here right now, and you're not alone. And it's a veil. It's almost like a veil is like placed in front of you, and this veil is here to help you learn to lean more into the trust, because the trust is a huge factor for what you're going to need to survive in 2025. So I just want to share that little reflection that came through for how the energy is going to happen for December. There's a couple of weeks left, depending on when you're listening to this episode. But even if you are listening to this episode in the new year and you have not yet gone back and reflected and grabbed your journal out and, set that space up and lit some sage and lit a candle and made a cuppa and, really like sat in the deep gratitude of what the year was. And I highly recommend that you do that, because like I said, if you want to attract more into your life, the quickest way that you can do that is by holding the gratitude of what you've already got. So hold the gratitude, sit in visualization, imagine this past version of you that has everything that you now have, and hold that deep gratitude for those past versions of yourself, for how she showed up, for the challenges that she managed to get through, maybe even though she didn't think she was going to get through it. I know I've been through many of them iterations and many ego deaths and many rebirths as well. So I'm with you, and we're on this ride together. So I hope that you really do take some time to sit with yourself and really reflect on the year that has been and celebrate the wins, and then also, write about the challenges that you faced, because those challenges really created the character of who you are, and that character you're going to need with you in 2025. Remember, everything happens for us. So if you feel like you want to share what your big reflections were, I would love to hear from you. So come and shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook, either one, or you can shoot me an email, whatever feels good for you. I would love to hear what your biggest wins were and celebrate that with you as well, because, we're not supposed to do this life together. If you are feeling the call that you want to work together for the new year, then there is a few different ways. There is private mentorship that is opened right now to kick off for the new year. You'll find the application form in the show notes. So head to the show notes and click on that link and fill out pour your heart into that application, and I will be in contact with you. The other option is to come inside Evolve. If you are a salon owner, it is a 12-month mentorship, and we delve a lot deeper into kind of what we talked a little bit about today, really, of like really being able to support yourself and really being able to create this dream life that you want and build a business that's in alignment with the life and the values and the goals that you have, without having to sacrifice everything, without having to hustle your way there. It's really about building a business that is in pure alignment, that really like has heart pounding feeling and experience. So if that's something that you are thinking about and you have some questions around it, come and let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have in the DMs. Otherwise, you'll find the application link in the show notes. So head straight there, click the link, and pour your heart into that, and then I'll be in contact with you about when the next round of people can come through. But yeah, I hope that that's you, Queen. I hope that's you. Anyway, I hope that you have a beautiful day. Enjoy whatever it is that you're doing today, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye for now.